Hey, PCA community. This is musical week at PCA, and we get to hear from some of the cast of Music Man. There are four of them assembled around this table. And before I let you all introduce yourselves, how many are on the cast this year? Anybody know?
Oh,
Maybe 30? 34?
Wow, big cast. And I hear there's dancing, obviously singing, a lot of cool stuff. Anyway, so over 30. So these four are representing over 30 fellow castmates, and I can't wait for you to meet them and hear a little bit about their stories. So without further ado, if we could, starting on my left, introduce yourselves to our community.
Hi, my name is Anna Tolley. I'm from Dover. This is my 13th year at PCA, and I've done 12 drama productions, and my role in Music Man is Marion.
You got to tell us a little bit about Marion. Who's Marion? Some of us don't know the story, including me.
So Marion is the leading female role. She is very serious and doesn't really like the main male role, Harold. He annoys her, and so she spends most of the first act ignoring him and being upset, and then she slowly warms up to him by the end.
Okay, and how does this fit you pretty well, Anna? Are you serious?
I think this role has been pretty easy for me because in the acting part of it, because I'm very similar to her in some of the stubborn aspects, and she likes to read and stuff. But
do you like to read?
Yeah,
you do. Okay, so you've got some. Well, it'd be fun. It sounds like you're looking forward to it. All right, next.
I'm Grace Wack. I'm from Dover. I've been at PCA for 4.5 years, and this is my 10th show, PCA. And I'm Eulalie Mackecknie Shinn, and she's the comedic relief of the show. So she's really outgoing and loud, and when she's on stage because she make it known.
Okay. How does that fit for your personality?
It's really fun because I'm usually pretty outgoing and loud too. So it's pretty similar, which is
okay. So that'll be fun.
Oh yeah.
And it's not ukulele, it's Eulalie.
It's Eulalie.
Eulalie. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. What were you looking for? Eulalie. Thank you. All right. Next.
My name is Donovan. I live in Farmington, New Hampshire, and I have been at PCA for 6 years now. And this is the third drama production I've done with PCA.
Okay.
I play Charlie Cowell, which is a rival salesman to the main character, Harold Hill, who ends up coming in towards the latter half of the show and tries to ruin everything for Harold Hill.
So are you the heavy, or would that be giving it away too much? Are you the spoiler in this whole thing? Or just a twist to the
It's kind of a twist.
Kind of a twist. You're a twist. Okay. Again, I don't know the story there, Donovan, but it sounds like you're having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And last but not least.
Yeah, my name is Owen. I am from Rollinsford, New Hampshire. This is my 13th year at PCA. I am a senior this year, though. I have acted in 14 PCA shows and done tech for, I believe, 3 of them. So that's 17 total PCA productions. I am Marcellus Washburn, and he is the best friend of the main character, Harold Hill. I used to be in kind of the shady business that Harold Hill was in.
Okay.
And then I stepped back, and I've settled down in a small town now, but we kind of run into each other again, and so I'm kind of helping him do his thing. So I'm a big helper to him throughout the story. And I'm a pretty unserious character. I'm mostly comedic relief.
You are also comedic. Okay. Is there I wonder if there's any interplay between the two, Eulalie and
I think
Marcellus?
They're friends. They know each other.
Yeah, they probably know of each other. We have one line that we say to each other, but we're not super relevant to one another.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, fun. Well, this is going to be a great show. Can't wait. I know you've got a really heavy week. You put the tech in over the weekend. I visited you all on Saturday and saw that going in. And a lot of good work. So the real question is, what inspired you to do all this? So, Grace, you got any thoughts there?
So before I came to PCA, I did a little bit of theater here and there. And then when I came halfway through the year, I didn't know what I wanted to do. We were looking at sports, but I was never really athletic. So when Mr. Stevens, an old teacher, said that I could be part of the musical, which was Little Mermaid at the time, without any auditions or anything like that, I was like, all right, why not?
Okay.
It'll be fun either way. And then just as rehearsal started and as everything came together, I just loved it so much. And I knew that I wanted to keep doing it because it was so much fun. I made so many new friends because I was new to the school, so I knew no one. But by the end of the musical, I knew almost like everyone there, which was amazing.
Okay. And what grade did you come in?
I came in halfway through 6th grade.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting because you all are like upperclassmen now, but we've got some young actors and actresses.
Yeah.
And that's when you came in. That's great. Well, thank you so much. How about you, Owen? What brought you into all this? It sounds like you've been doing it since you first got here.
Yeah. My first show was in 4th grade, actually.
Okay.
Which is as early as I could do a show. It's because, I have an older brother. His name is Sean.
Okay.
And he got super into it. And then my sister Molly followed him.
Okay.
And then my sister Kaylee followed her. And then I followed my sister Kaylee because all 3 of my siblings loved theater and were just so good at it.
Right.
So I looked at how much fun they were having and all the cool opportunities. And I said, I really want to try that. And I almost feel like, part of me is like, at least I have to give it a try. If it was worth all 3 of my siblings' time, I have to at least give it a shot. And then I did Charlotte's Web, and I just had such a fun time because I got to be this larger-than-life personality, and it was encouraged for me to be that way. And I got to make people laugh with my lines. And as a 4th grader, that many people laughing at a joke you made feels awesome, right?
Yeah.
So just when I really felt like I had that connection with the audience, it really encouraged me to stick with it, and I've been glad I did ever since.
Yeah, I think I saw you first. What was the show that was basically a run on the Ugly Duckling?
That would be Honk Jr. in 7th grade when I was the Ugly Duckling.
Yeah, you did that one. That's when I first, you're laughing.
It's just because I was reminiscing. Like,
Yeah.
just hearing that show makes me happy because it was such a good show.
It was a good
Thank
show.
you.
Yep. Well, super. Well, thank you both so much for sharing a little bit of how you got going. Was there anything along the way for either of you that either like deterred you or said, no, this is something that's really important to me?
I think I got to junior year, and I felt a little burnt out, to be honest with you. I'd just been doing it for so long, and sophomore year academically had been such a busy year for me that when junior year came around, it was difficult for me, but I made the choice to step away from theater for a little bit because it was what felt like it was better for me and for the department.
Right.
And I got to be on tech in that time, which was very refreshing because I still got to see all my theater friends, but I got to try out this whole new side of it, and it gave me such an appreciation for what the tech people do. They're so hardworking, and there's just so much that goes into it. So I still got to have fun.
Yeah.
And then when I came back my senior year this year, I just felt when I got back to the stage so creatively recharged and ready to go at it again. So I'm glad that I took that step away because it returned to me the love that I had for theater in the first place.
Well, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Anna, you've worked on several projects. Which one's been the most challenging for you, and how'd you overcome it?
So I think I'd have to say that this one has actually been the most challenging for me so far. I've done a lot of different shows at a lot of different places, but I've never been the lead of the production before.
Okay.
And this show is just such a music-heavy show as well. And I'm more of an actress than I am a singer. I enjoy singing a lot, but the singing part of it has been the most stressful because Marion has 4 solo songs and then 2 duets.
Okay.
And they're very high songs, so it's more difficult than anything else I've tried to sing.
Like high in pitch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am a soprano, but it's still been difficult. But I've been working with my voice teacher, Andrea, a lot and talking with other actors and actresses who have been through the same thing. I've talked with Grace about how she did it last year because she was our lead last year.
Yeah.
And I've spoken a lot with Miss Washburn about acting pieces. And just the community has been so helpful when I'm trying to overcome challenges because everybody has insight into it and everybody is going to give me some helpful advice. So, yeah.
Have you been able to navigate all of that? I mean, I don't know about you. Sometimes I get so much advice, I don't know what to do about it, and it's all pretty good.
Yeah, I think one of my directors, the assistant director, she told me the other day, she said, during Tech Week, everyone's going to be really stressed out and it's going to be high intensity and there's going to be a lot of advice being given and a lot of things going on, but just keep yourself in a good headspace, hear the advice, filter it through, but just try to pick out the ones that are helpful and the ones that aren't, and just, you're doing a great job, so if you just keep doing what you're doing, then it's going to be okay.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, both of you are mid to all-state choir, right, recently. So I know you've got some real talent. And I think I remember a challenge you had on. Did you? You were in, was it Cinderella?
It wasn't Cinderella, yep.
And didn't you you're not, your throat, like you got sick or something.
There's something wrong with my voice, and I just couldn't talk or sing really much at all.
Yeah.
My voice got really weak. So, of course, we had to call in Mr. Stevens to be my voiceover for opening night. And then after that, I was back on track enough to sing and talk.
I remember that. And then, do you have any challenges last year in Newsies, Grace?
I was kind of in the same boat Anna was in. It was my first show as the lead. I had my first solo song, like being alone on stage. It was just a crazy thing.
Yeah.
And I was really, really nervous. Like my heart would be beating so quickly on stage when it came. But I just remembered that it was all for God, and I knew what I had to do. I knew I worked on it the best that I could, and I just got on stage and had fun with it. Like one night I forgot my line completely and had to improv something in the middle of my song. And
fun.
I thought after I'd be really upset.
Yeah.
But I went out laughing, and everyone else was laughing with me, and I was getting like congratulated from doing it. And it was just like, it helped remind me that even though there is a lot of stress, the overall like outcome is just the fun in the community.
Well, that's fun. Well, thanks for sharing all your challenges, and we are definitely praying for you as you take this on as a lead. And it's great to be around people who had that and to walk with them too. So that's really cool. Donovan, just as you think about all being a part of this, seeing your own creative juices come in. And if you all don't know, Donovan is also like his class president. I mean, he does a lot of cool things. Correct me wrong, you're a freshman, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So here we got freshmen, and you've got some upperclassmen going here. But just how do you see, God working in your, in you and those around you?
I think it's especially apparent during this time here as we get up closer to the show, because you'll start noticing people change and tend to work like a lot better with each other, and they tend to they really get a lot better the week coming up to the show. And some of that I feel is God doing some work through them, because upcoming to that, there'll be things that people will maybe like consistently miss, or just don't work as well with other actors on stage. But then as that time sort of starts ticking away and we're getting to that week that everything has to come back together, I feel like God's putting his hand in there a little bit and helping everyone to work together a lot better and work their own creative skills that he's given them better as well.
Yeah, that's really encouraging. Although I haven't been in the theater programs like you all have, I've seen that stress can either bring a team together or it can really splinter a team. And so it sounds like that one of the things we pray for, and I think especially if we all are coming from that perspective, is like, okay, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be problems and friction, and like, how do we work through that? So I'm really encouraged to hear that. That's really good. So Donovan, just to follow on, just how about for you, as you're on your third or fourth show right now, right here at PCA. Just how have you seen God work in your life over those, even the entry in, and then even now on this show today? What's the journey been like?
So at the start of my acting career, the first show I did, I didn't really want to do it that much, but a bunch of my friends had kind of gotten me to go on and do it. But as I got there, I started noticing some abilities and things that God had gave me that I really hadn't known before.
Yeah.
Because I always thought of myself as kind of like an introverted person that wasn't good at speaking.
Okay.
But whenever I got on the stage and started acting, something just changed in my mind that made me realize that I had these abilities that I never knew I had before.
Okay.
And it gave me a completely different shift on my perspective of who I was and what God had planned for me to do.
That's really neat. You think you're going to continue to be involved in theater?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of high-fiving going on, or sort of air pumps going on in the room. So that's great, Donovan. I know it's a journey, right? It's hard. I mean, you guys are a lot of people are counting on you. At the same time, it's, as you said, Grace, the fact that you had to do it right in the middle of that was incredible.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think I would have had the bearing to do that. But Don, I'm really glad you're stepping into it. Hopefully you continue to invite others to come on.
Yeah, definitely. I'm bringing in some more of my friends next year, I hope so.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. All right, Anna. So this has been a journey for you for quite a while, it sounds like. And so just share a little bit about your own faith journey with this and your own discovery in this particular role, but sort of where you've been. I mean, you've been a part of theater for a while, obviously. Yeah. What's it look like for you?
So starting out theater, I kind of always knew that it was for me. Like, my parents joke I was really dramatic as a child.
Okay.
So they were like, yeah, theater's the way to go. And throughout my years, I sort of thought of it as obviously it was something I was meant to do, and it was the path God had chose for me. And as I started getting like bigger roles in productions, doing more things, it was just more and more I had to keep reminding myself, like God chose this path for me. This is the right path. Just, he's gonna make everything go fine. Like, we'd get to tech weeks that were not going well, and it'd feel like, how is God gonna get things to work together and make everything come together? But he always did. And then we got to this year, and last week I was feeling pretty stressed about the show. Just, it's not more behind than other shows I've done. It's actually going really well. We have everything blocked and done, but I was just feeling really anxious about especially the singing parts. And then I went to church on Sunday, and I don't know if you know this, but in the Anglican Church, the Sunday, like this past Sunday, is sometimes called Good Shepherd Sunday.
Okay. I didn't know
And
that.
so all of the passages were like every single one in the Bible about how God is the Good Shepherd.
Right.
God and Jesus are the Good Shepherd, and how he's not going to lead you down paths that you can't thrive in. He's only going to lead you down paths that are good for you. And we sang like a few songs that just like really hit exactly what I was feeling. And then the sermon was also on that. And it was just like this moment where I was like, okay, God has my back. He's showing me. He's telling me that he's the shepherd. And I just need to trust him that this show is going to go well.
Yeah. It's amazing how God works sometimes directly. It's like, what is the sermon? What is the whole focus? And that sounds like it was perfect timing for you. Yeah, I can think of a few other times where the Lord, like, Lord, did you know that? And he says, I sense he says, I did actually. And it sounds like he met you for that. That's so cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. So as you start to think about the future a little bit here, Grace in particular, where do you think this may all be leading for you? Whether it's in fine arts or just your future life?
Well, I think I'll continue to do fine arts in the future. I've always been more artistic than I have in athletics. So whether it's just like painting or acting or singing, I think it'll continue. And just being able to work with teachers who really want me to thrive, like Miss Weisberg, our director, who is willing to sit down and help us out with the acting, like Anna said, or Mr. Rains, the voices director. They're all just so willing to help everyone. So I think that's really nice for the future with having that background of it.
Have you started to think even beyond PCA?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah? What are you thinking?
I don't really know whether it's just like a hobby on the side or a minor maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I mean, do any of you all go to community theater around? So involved at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real ministry. So there are not a lot of head noddings going on, but it's a real, ministry is strengthening the broader community that, you might want to continue in your life. Who's been on, have you even done college tours yet? I know, Owen, you've definitely been out looking at what's next. So anyway, I would just encourage you all to go see what they have at your campuses you're going to. So whether you're involved or not, I think whether small or large, it seems to be a big part of student life. So even at West Point, we had a little bit of it. Not much, but we had a little bit. So good. Well, I hope you continue to see that just be a part of who you are and who God's designed you to be. Do you see any of your other academic interests sort of linking back into this at all, Grace?
In theater?
Yeah, or the things you do through theater, or the things you really enjoy doing.
Well, I mean, the community is a big part of it. I see all my friends, whether it's academics, we're in classes together, we work together, and all those friendships that you make like during the day kind of all carry over to rehearsals at night. And especially now where we're spending so much time together. It's like you're friends during the day, but then you just grow closer during rehearsal. And it's really nice that the two can carry over and combined.
Yeah, and then it flows back into the morning.
And then back into the morning.
Well, that's really cool. All right, Owen, you've been doing this a few seasons.
I have.
Who have been some of your influences and mentors and how they've impacted your journey? And I know we could be here a long time.
Yes.
So you pick a couple.
Yeah, I know. I have quite the long list of people I can mention. Where do I even start? I guess the first one that comes to mind are the Knightley brothers, Christian and Cameron Knightley. Those two really had just such a big impact on me in the way that so when I met them, like my first show with Cam Knightley, I was in 6th grade and he was a senior.
Okay.
And you can imagine the age gap there means there's difference in interest, difference in, at least, okay, hypothetically there would be, right? There's such a gap. I'm a younger kid. He's an older kid. He's got, you would think he's got better things to do than talk to a middle schooler.
Right.
But he just invested in me so much.
Yeah.
He was so funny and he cared so much about the show and he taught me so much. And like, if the guys were joking around, I was included. If they were going to do something, they said, hey, Owen, do you want to do this thing with me? And Cameron was such an excellent actor and he really treated me not just like a student of him, but like a friend. Despite the age gap, I really felt like an equal, even though when he was acting, I didn't feel like an equal because I was looking so far up to him. And then Christian Knightley, I have another million good things to say about him. I got to work with for a couple more shows than I did Cameron because he was a couple years below in age. And over that time, Christian just invested in me so much. As a middle schooler, I was not very confident and I had a lot of memory issues too. I was never really good at memorizing stuff. So it led me to make a lot of silly mistakes. And Christian never berated me for that. He was never impatient. He was always very patient, very willing to let it be a learning experience. And there's just a million things I learned from watching those guys act and how they were presently on stage.
Did they it sounds like they got to act a little bit together too. As
yeah, they had a couple shows that they were together in. Mary Poppins, which was a big show for me, was for them too.
Are they pretty different guys or are they sort of cut from the same bowl?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I would say in terms of
just personality-wise.
Personality-wise, I think they're definitely a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think they approach problems differently and find different solutions to things.
Yeah.
But I also think that they have similar senses of humor and are similarly very big presences on the stage. And one thing they always had in common is if you gave them a thing and said, hey, we want you to do this on stage, they'd take it and run with it. They would go, all right, director, this is what you want. That's what you're going to get out of this character. And they were very effective for that reason.
And you got to see all that play out.
Yeah. And I got to watch all that play out and learn from them too. And it was, those guys were wonderful.
Didn't
you at the ref, do you get to see Cameron Christian at all? A couple of you. So Anna did.
Was he in Little Mermaid?
Yeah, Little Mermaid.
Christian was in, yeah.
Prince Eric.
Okay,
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun to see how that crosses over. Anybody else you want to do a shout out to?
Abby Eisner.
Yeah.
Great friend of mine over the years. I learned so much from her, being a little closer in age to her than I was some other people. So in Mary Poppins, for example, I think she would have been a freshman that year.
So it's dangerous to gauge that.
So
yeah.
I believe she was a freshman and we were just really fast friends and we were told, hey, your siblings in the show. So it kind of felt like that way sometimes. It really felt like family. And she taught me so much about acting because she just had this way of approaching a character that was really good. She was a little older than me and a little more responsible. So it's funny, one time I forgot this line. And so she kind of picked it up and I'd forget it. So I'd forgotten it so consistently and she had said it so consistently that it just kind of became one of her lines.
Okay.
But one night I randomly remembered it. And so we both said it at the same time. And Brynn Baldessaro, another wonderful woman, wonderful actor who's playing Mary Poppins, had to respond to both of us saying the same thing on stage. It was really funny. But Abby's just such a creative thinker and she's so outside the box and brings such an energy and presence to the stage where even if on the days where I felt tired, I didn't feel like I was all there, she kind of really helped bring up the energy in the room. And I was really glad to be around her for stuff like that.
That's really
And if we have time, I guess the last person I would throw out there, I already talked about Christian, Jonah Locker.
Okay.
Now he's my age. We're in the same grade. But he thinks so deeply about his characters, especially in a black box setting too.
Yeah.
He just takes such a deep approach at whoever it is that he wants to be and he's looking at. And he has so many good habits that it's so easy to pick up those habits and learn from him because... because I know how he's getting good, and he's someone that you can learn from.
Yeah.
And he's also just so funny and such a good actor, and he gives me really good notes when I ask for them. I'm like, hey, how do you think I should approach this thing? And he'll give me a response. So he's also been someone that I've been really happy to learn from.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you know some of these. I'm looking at the young ladies here. You know a couple of those folks. Anybody you just want to do a quick shout out who's really influenced you along the way?
Well, definitely Miss Weisberg. Because she's taught me so much. But I think another director that I've had who's taught me so much is Kelly Connors.
Yeah.
She directed Little Mermaid, and me being a sixth grader, I did not expect to get a role, but she just believed in me for no reason. She gave me a mermaid sister, which was a decent sized role, especially for a sixth grader. That's the youngest you can be. And she's just believed in me since. Like, she asked me if I wanted to be in a show at the Rochester Opera House, to be in The Sound of Music, and I just was like, I don't know, I guess you'd say hired by her this winter to do a show at the Players Ring in Portsmouth.
Okay.
And it's just, I don't know, she's so talented too, oh my goodness. And so she's really inspired me a lot and given me a lot of opportunities that I would not have had otherwise.
That's great. Grace?
And besides from Miss Weisberg being one of the best directors I've ever had, I'd also have to say Abby Eisner.
Yeah.
Because even though there was a bit of an age gap there, when I did Little Women with her, I was Clarissa, which is like my first supportive role. And I was an ensemble, so I was very excited, but also nervous. And she just felt like a big sister to me in that show. And from like then on, like I just got so close. She was such a great role model. She was so good, so good. And just having like a friend as an upper, like I was in 7th grade, she was in high school. I felt so cool having that friendship.
Yeah.
And she treated me like she didn't treat me as a kid. She treated me as like a friend and stuff like that. And so that just made me really happy. And to have her as like, she helped me through little things in acting and singing, and just having that like presence with me so young into theater. It was so nice.
That's inspiring. That's great. I remember getting to watch Abby in Little Women, from a different perspective. Donovan, how about you? Got anybody that's been really helping inspire you and motivate, mentor you?
I know everyone also mentioned this, but Mrs. Weisberg, our director, has helped me out a lot, especially with sometimes where it was probably justified that I would get in a little bit of trouble, mostly because I will say the last show that I did, I was not good at memorizing my lines whatsoever.
Okay.
Like, I was very irresponsible about that. But Mrs. Weisberg was always there trying to help me, and she was very patient. And I found that kind of inspiring, because while I was in that same situation and I was talking to a kid doing the stuff that I was doing, I would probably not be too happy. So
yeah, a little frustrated.
Yeah.
But she had a lot of patience. And look, here you are. That's pretty cool. Well, it's just great to hear, because you think about other people, because I know, sort of like Owen, you say, you are that person for people now. And so I just hope you're encouraged by that. And just closing out, Owen, you're the only senior in the room right now. So I'm going to close with you.
Okay.
Just what advice would you give to younger students? They may or may not be artists yet, who would just want to think about what they're doing, but also how does their faith possibly tie to this?
Yeah, for starters, if you're thinking about doing a show, please do a show. It's just so much fun. There's so many wonderful people that surround you and kind of come around you and help you to learn the ropes, no matter what level you start at.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of opportunities, whether that's a lead, or I know kids who were ensemble for a majority of their career and still had the most wonderful things to say about the show. So come give it a try. If you think it's something you'd like, seriously, please come give it a try. It is so much wonderful. It is such a wonderful time. And regarding your relationship with the Lord, I think pray about it. Whatever art it is that either you're considering being in or you're currently in, giving it to God and saying, okay, you've given me the talent to do this thing. Now let me shine a light towards you. I think even speaking those words, God already knows that you want to serve him, but if you tell him you want to serve him, I think that's so powerful. Miss Weisberg mentioned some people coming up to her after Newsies last year. I wasn't in that show, but I was on tech for it. And saying to her, like, Newsies, the kids in Newsies were different than other kids they'd seen. And there was just this presence about them that felt different. And they kind of really shined a light towards God in a very unique way. And I'm telling you right now, if you ask God for that opportunity, even if it's outside of the fine arts, he's still going to give you that opportunity. And so I really encourage anyone who's thinking about it, go chase that ball, pick it up, and bring it back to God and say, okay, God, how can you use me, and how can I serve you through this? Because if you're asking God for that opportunity, I guarantee you he's going to give it to you.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I've watched in the a few years here is that you all really open and invite people in to be a part of that. So Lord, guides and provides. There are roles, there are places for everybody in this. So thank you all for sharing this journey. We're praying for you this week, all of you four, but also all 30 plus to include the tech and backstage. Can't wait to see you. Mrs. Rooney and I will be there Friday night. Can't wait to see the show. I know you open Thursday night. I think there are only a few tickets left, maybe a couple of the nights. But anyway, we can't wait to see you. Have a great time. Praying for you. Ladies and gentlemen, don't miss out. Music Man at PCA this week. Spring musical. It's amazing. So God bless you. We'll see you at the show.